Welcome back to the History of Money series. In this episode, we will look at how inflation came about and the development of international currencies. In the 17th century, the Spanish imported massive quantities of precious metals from the colonies into Spain. This created an excess amount of wealth into circulation. Traders then simply put up the price of their goods to take advantage of this new purchasing power. This meant that the returning explorers were no better off, and those without the new gold were even worse off than before. It was in fact those who had debt who were actually better off, as it had now in effect become smaller. This was the first time that people discovered that an oversupply of money matched with an undersupply of goods can cause inflation. Inflation can result from too much money, for example, when salaries rise too fast, or the low production of certain goods. This can be reversed if traders produce more goods, or the new influx of money circulates slowly as people who already have resources start to save more. Inflation can happen as the result of global events, such as pandemics or a war, when people fear what the future holds for the value of their money and their assets. Inflation causes people to fear spending money if they don't have a lot of it, or if they have a lot of debt and they want to make a big purchase. In the 18th century, the British forced their colonies in America to pay their taxes in pounds, and they made it illegal for any British colonies to print their own money. This forced the colonies to trade with the motherland to access the currency they needed to survive. According to Benjamin Franklin, the American War of Independence that started in 1775 was caused by the sheer burden of British taxation and the disadvantages of trading with Britain to access British pounds. During this war, the Americans issued the first American $2 bill, just days before they declared independence. 9 years later, in 1785, the US officially adopted the dollar sign, using the symbol for the Spanish-American peso as a guide. When World War I broke out in 1914, many countries suspended their use of the gold standard to pay their military expenses with paper money, which devalued their currencies. At the same time, the Allies paid the US for supplies with gold during World War I, propelling the US to become the largest holder of gold. Britain, on the other hand, maintained the gold standard to hold its position as the world's leading currency, and then found itself borrowing money for the first time during the third year of the war. After the war, many countries pegged their currencies to the dollar, ending the gold standard. Because of America's vast trade and trustworthy tax base, it eventually became the most widely used currency on the planet. Today, the International Monetary Fund reports that 60% of all foreign bank reserves are denominated in US dollars, making it the unofficial global currency. And that is why many countries store large reserves of US dollars today. Despite its position in the global markets, the US isn't the strongest world currency, ranking at 10th on the list. Thanks for watching The History of Money. In our next episode, we will look at how money is controlled and the evolution of banking systems that we use today.